Hello, dear listeners, and welcome once again to Superconnectivity. I am your host, Charlie Los Profesores Sereno, and with me as always is the man who understands the quantum zone, the quantum realm, and all things quantifiable.
Phil, I don't know Spanish, Perich.
That's the one. Hey, Philip, glad
Hello.
to have you.
Nice to be here.
Did you see the big season finale? This seems like it wasn't even 13 episodes.
It was 10.
It was 10. Oh, they're chincing us. The big season finale of
Cloak and Dagger.
Yes. Cloak and Dagger. So that was the end of it.
Season 1.
Season 1, yeah. Oh, yeah. Only season 1, because that was a hit. That was a bona fide hit.
Oh, yeah, they already said it's coming back. So,
yeah. We even introduced our villain, our next season's villain.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, it said spring 2019, season 2.
Yep. Electric Boogaloo. So.
And we got more references to the larger MCU.
Oh, yeah.
Because that evil Roxxon executive mentioned Stark and Rand.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well,
keep up with the Starks and Rands.
Well, do you know the biggest reference to the MCU in this?
Was it this week?
This week, there was a huge reference to the MCU.
Did I miss it? What was it?
No, you had to watch it with commercials.
Oh, I probably
And the Black Panther sits down with Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, yeah, I did see a few seconds of that, yes.
Mr. Bozeman had a nice conversation with our two stars about, finding your voice as a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciated that. It was like, it really made a connection for it. And I think they are trying to make these connections more. I mean, I think the biggest problem you have with these things is the time schedule, that you shoot films on a certain schedule and you shoot TV on a very different schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to be so tight-lipped with the TV, with the movies, that, they can't exactly do references and the TV shows, unless they're going to up the security on the TV shows.
Well, yeah, they already said that with the Netflix stuff. They said, they don't, most of the big reason they don't make reference to the movies is like half the time they're like, we don't know when we're going to be, sometimes we don't know when we're going to be out, what movie's going to be out at that time, so.
Although, it will not surprise me if we do get the Netflix guys, maybe even Cloak and Dagger, not the Inhumans, so. In Avengers 4, Electric Boogaloo.
I thought you were going to say maybe one of them makes a reference to Captain Marvel, because at least, if it takes place in the 90s, for a fact that took place before any of those TV shows.
Well, yeah, but then you're going to have a hard time actually referencing. The only one you could actually reference, in which we will reference, is Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
So you may get some references to Zero Matter in there. That'd be cool. Which we got no references the entire time in Cloak and Dagger.
I love this series, but I think if I had one nitpick with it, I believe they moved a little too slow story-wise.
I guess I could see that. I mean, I think one of the problems that you have with these kinds of things is that, you're trying to tell this episodic television.
Mm-hmm.
And, in comic books, you have time for a real superpower fight every week, every month.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as the regular one.
But also, I guess maybe because they only had 10 episodes also, because, even the Netflix stuff usually gets 13, at least.
Yeah, which I think maybe they were saying, well, you know what it is they had their one big bad, and it's not even really one big bad. It is, Roxxon is the big bad, but they're not really, they're too amorphous to really be a big bad. Because they're not even like Hydra, where it's like this conspiratorial organization. It's just, a group of people trying to pump magic out of the ground.
Which, it could also be, too, maybe there was too much focus in too many different directions, because you did have the big bad Roxxon, but also Tyrone was trying to, clear his brother's name and get the dirty cop who killed his brother. And
yeah.
So we're going in that direction also. And
yeah. Well, because you had the parallel storylines. And
yes.
I gotta say, both of our heroes, well, it's interesting because, of course, okay, spoilers ahead, we have what Dagger does to the Roxxon executive, which is probably the most heinous thing I can imagine. and it was premeditative and it was intentional. You know, she puts him in that catatonic state the way that Ivan had been for 4 years.
But I mean, you also say, you know, she did look at his, I don't want to say hopes, but his, you know, she was in his head and saw him like gleefully, you know, pushing people back underwater and taking money off of them. And I mean,
no, I'm not saying he doesn't have it coming. You know, here's the thing: it's not that he doesn't have it coming; it's that she very much exploited it, and she intentionally did it. And you compare that with Cloak, who, of course, is the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
When he takes out the cop, you can see Cloak isn't even doing it consciously.
Yeah.
It's really just the dark force reaching out and just taking him in. And you can see he's like, what the heck just happened? Where did the cop go? And they don't show us, you know, but he is trapped in a little room with Dormammu at the moment, you know?
He better be.
Well, you know, they liked it and they did not disappoint, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We don't even need that post-credits scene with Dormammu. We know exactly where he is and what's happening to him, and it's not a happy thing. But I just feel it's interesting that, you know, Dagger is actively and premeditatedly being evil to the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Cloak, it really just happens, you know. And I find it interesting with the thing. You know, I kind of felt the big Roman candle into the sky was a little bit not what I was expecting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of felt like that was, that seems like a pretty cliche way to end it. I really was not pleased with that. I mean, the explosions and all the people going crazy from it, that was interesting, but in general, I kind of felt that they resolved it in a very, I guess a very traditional superhero-y way, but also kind of a hand-wavium kind of superhero-y way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's my opinion on that, you know. Don't get me wrong, I liked it, it's enjoyable, it's fun, but, you know, I thought its ending was a little soft.
Well, I mean, the ending, because you see what happens to, we kind of get a hint of what happens to O'Reilly.
Oh, yeah, she's now Mayhem, we assume.
Well, yeah, they said season 2 will be Mayhem.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know enough about Mayhem as a character. I did not read Brian Cronin's little thing on CBR about who is Mayhem.
Well, in the comics, she was a cop who was, like, poisoned and killed and came back and, like, was looking to, like, exact revenge and kill, I guess, the cop. Or I think it was a cop who poisoned her. But, I think
she's a little late.
I know, but I think they said, you know, the comic book Mayhem worked with Cloak and Dagger. I think they said the TV version is going to be straight up like a villain, or at least someone they have to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, because I'm guessing. Well, did Mayhem have any kind of powers?
I believe so. Let me look this up. I know this was like in the 80s, I believe so.
Yeah, well, you know, it's been a long time. Although I did read the most recent Cloak and Dagger book, which I did enjoy.
Oh, did you? I didn't read that yet.
Oh, okay, it's good. Yes.
Because that's the one that is it digital only or digital first?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I got it digitally, so possibly.
Oh, Mayhem his abilities were to breathe toxic gas that produces multiple effects, retractable claws, levitation, and flight.
Ooh, flight. There we go. Everyone loves to fly. Yeah, I mean, you know, it'll be interesting to see what she does, how they further unfold the story. I am interested to see what they do with everyone as it goes on. I also thought it was very interesting that after the episode, we got the Runaways.
I did record that. I didn't watch it yet, but yeah. What was first episode, right? Yeah,
the first episode of the Runaways. And I understand they are bringing the Runaways to Freeform, the old episodes, and you know, I mean, it'd be neat if Freeform does. Freeform is also where our New Warriors show is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So having a nice block of teen superhero shows on Freeform might be really awesome. You know, I know over in DC you have your one teen superhero show with all guys in their 30s, you know. The Teen Titans, but we all have jobs. None of us are teenagers anymore. One of our guys is an insurance agent, you know. In a short sleeve shirt. You know?
He's a cop.
He's an insurance agent. He may be working as a cop, but he wants to be an insurance agent. He clearly dresses the part. You dress for the job you want, not the job you have, Phil.
He's a disgruntled cop. You know, just look at his dialogue. Yeah. Batman.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so the Cloak and Dagger book is really nice. Cloak and Dagger clearly have had a falling out, and this is like, and I like because it's like 10 years. They said it as like that Cloak and Dagger have been around for a decade, so you get a nice time frame for their characters. And it's got a nice little mystery at the start that goes back to when they first got their powers, and it's neat. I'm really looking forward to the next Cloak and Dagger. It was a good book. I did enjoy Cloak and Dagger a lot. I certainly did. I did not get to tweet it last night. I didn't even realize it was the last episode.
No, yeah, like I said, it was only the 10th episode.
Yeah, you know, it's weird. It's like, you know, I'm not even through Luke Cage yet, and this is already done.
Oh,
yeah. Like up to like episode 5, but I have to keep on going back and rewatching, and then, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I need to watch ahead more. That's all there is to it.
So what other comics did you read?
Well, I read Ta-Nehisi Coates' Captain America.
Oh, yeah. Number 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was good. I love how it's almost all internal dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really getting the conflict within Captain America. And our last panel reveal is very interesting for what it might imply. You know? Yeah. Meeting with a foreign power that is possibly influencing him in some way.
Well, Wakanda, T'Challa.
Yeah, it's still a foreign power, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a totalitarian society. Don't let the pretty beads fool you, man.
Well, I'm interested in, like, is Ta-Nehisi Coates saying that we don't know the complete ramifications of when Kobik de-aged Steve? I mean, we know the whole thing with Hydra Cap, but I mean, we do get that panel, you know, with Kobik saying, "I can make you strong again." ...
Yeah, and it does seem like that he made a deal with Kobik, and what that deal is, we will soon learn. It's just, I mean, honestly, you know, like I say, it's like this Ta-Nehisi Coates guy. He's a pretty good writer. He's got a career in writing ahead of him, you know.
And I did like, I guess, the big conspiracy, you know, for the public now is like, did they lock up the right Cap? Is this Hydra Cap running around? And did the government lock up the real Cap?
Or, you know, not for nothing, you know, how do you know? Not only do you know, is this the real Cap, but was there ever really 2 Caps?
Oh yeah, that's the other part too. Yeah, it's like, did they say this to clean up Steve Rogers' image?
Yeah, but I loved what he says about all of the other Caps, the Nukes and the Grandmasters and Grand Directors, or it was like the Grand Director and, you know, good old Burnside. Although, you know, not for nothing, you have to forgive Burnside, man. Burnside's prime for redemption.
It was bad super soldier serum drove him insane. Come on.
Well, you know, I kind of hope Ta-Nehisi brings back in Burnside, you know, really explores who this man is. And, you know, I'd love if Ta-Nehisi Coates would bring back Isaiah Bradley, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I know he's got some problems, but, you know, maybe there's, like I said, man, I've always felt that, like, Protocide and Burnside and, you know, Bradley should get together and, like, sort of figure out what their soldier system, what their super soldier serums were missing to figure out how to fix it, you know? I mean, that's the thing.
That would be like a good duo to fight Steve Rogers, though, is Protocide and Burnside.
Well, I've always imagined that Protocide shouldn't be a villain.
No, but I mean, he did attack Steve Rogers in the past, though.
Yeah, but he was also kind of, here's my basic statement on Protocide.
He was able to be manipulated, so maybe someone could manipulate him to do it again.
He just came out of the ice. Steve Rogers attacked the Avengers when he first came out of the ice.
Yeah.
You know? And here's my biggest thing about Protocide, and I've always said this, okay, so the super soldier serum increases your intellect as well. And the thing is, for Rogers and Burnside, when their intellect got a boost, they didn't even notice it. They didn't even notice it so much that when Rogers lost the super soldier serum, he didn't even realize how much off his game. You know, because he was always a smart guy. And it's sort of like the David Banner thing, where he's like, I'm still a physicist, I'm still real smart, but I'm not the guy creating, you know, personal force fields and, you know, super intelligent AIs anymore. That's not who I am anymore. And that's the thing. It's like Steve Rogers, with the super soldier serum, is a Reed Richards level intellect, but he was always smart. So when he lost that, he doesn't immediately realize that he lost anything. He still thinks he's on that Reed Richards level, which is why Reed Richards and and his group are running circles around him when they were, you know, before what was that group called? The Illuminati.
Yeah.
You know.
You weren't saying Steve Rogers was on Reed Richards level, are you? You're saying
yes.
Banner, right? Oh.
No,
I don't see that. I mean, I could see an increase in IQ for Steve Rogers, but I think it's more like he's more like a strategist now. He's like the chess player who can see 6 moves ahead. He's not splitting the atom.
Well, that's because that's not where he decided to put his study.
True.
You know, that's the thing. It's like Reed Richards can think 6 moves ahead. He can also split atoms. He can do all these things. You know, and that's the thing. It's like when you're on that level, there's different ways you can use it. I mean, you look at a guy like Nick Fury, again, a guy who's this brilliant strategist thinking about 16 different possible outcomes and preparing for all of them, like that Batman character. You know, always with that thing where he's got a little bit of prep time, he's good. And that's the thing. But the thing is that Steve Rogers didn't notice when he lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got a guy like Protocide. Protocide wasn't a smart guy before he got the powers. He was honestly just a big dumb guy. He was a good soldier, but he was a big dumb guy.
Mm-hmm.
And when his intellect got boosted, I mean, he didn't even notice he got stronger. He was always strong. When his intellect got boosted, suddenly it freaked him out, and he got real quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it was, he must have had brain damage. He doesn't talk. It's like, no, he's just listening to everybody else. And if he got that kind of intellectual boost, then he's going to be the guy who's thinking in these different ways than he ever thought before. Well, and I think the first thing he's going to think about is like, well, okay, so I got half a serum. You know, Bradley got half a serum. What's his name? And one thing you might even immediately realize is that Burnside got the injectable. He got the oral.
Mm-hmm.
So they each have half the super soldier serum.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we all know it's the Vita rays that are the stabilizing factor. So I got to imagine that he's going to want to seek out the rest of it to put it all together. And I would love to see the 3 Captain Americas made whole. And they can either be antagonists or protagonists with Cap. You know, I mean, that's my thing.
I think the thing that makes Protocide dangerous is, he does get that IQ boost, and it not only does he see, you know, how maybe low down he was before, but now he intellectually he can see, you know, how all these officials have been using him, and you know they use me as a guinea pig, and you know.
Oh, I don't think he's. I mean, I certainly think he might want to tear down the establishment. He could be. You know what he? Next time we see Protocide,
what?
He should be the new Everyman. Remember Everyman from the 70s or the 80s? Yeah.
I thought you were about to say he could be the new Flag Smasher or something.
No. Flag Smasher. Rich kid got a fancy flying car. No, Everyman.
Yeah, but no, I could see him saying, you know, the governments of the world, you know, use and abuse the little guy, you know, so let's tear him down.
Yeah, but that was also Everyman's thing. And
True.
Not for nothing, Everyman, of course, had a tie to the Grand Director when he was given the Absorpicon that stole Reed Richards' intellect.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that good old Marvel team up with Spider-Man?
Uncle Reed.
Uncle Reed, man. These are good things. These are good stories, man. Revisit them, Marvel.
I know. Oh, that got me excited, too. I didn't realize until I checked a couple days ago. You know Fantastic Four comes back on Wednesday, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
And, you know, I was a little disappointed that the Requiem wound up being Gamora.
I figured they were going to make it either Gamora or Nebula.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Reed Richards.
Nah.
Well, I thought it might have been what was it called? The Raider. What was the evil Reed?
The Phantom Raider or whatever.
Yeah. Because he has that Impossible Man, not Impossible Man. Was it Invincible Man? Was the armor that Doom created? Well, actually, the Skrulls created first. Gave it to a character who's supposed to be
something like that. Yeah.
Dad and John Storm's dad. Yeah.
The one who's covered from like head to toe. You couldn't tell who it was. Yeah.
Exactly.
Then in the 90s, that alternate Reed Richards used it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When he comes back and he starts killing off all the Fantastic Fours because his Fantastic Four died.
Well, no, I mean, I was pretty sure it wasn't Reed because I believe they were saying even in the solicits that it was a her, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure,
well, actually, I was thinking it might have been Sue. Was actually what I was thinking.
Oh, could have been.
It might have been a Sue version of it, but yeah.
But I mean, after she kills Thanos, I was pretty sure it was Gamora or Nebula.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess it is. Like I said, the visual cues are probably what threw me.
And I mean, I think it's like a tie to the whole Soul Stone thing because Nebula's looking for the Soul Stone. She left a piece of herself in there,
and it's apparently corrupting the Soul Stone.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we're doing Infinity Wars. Infinity Wars #1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, well, it's just a natural flow.
Yeah.
Flow. I'm going to tie it all back. I was trying to get to Incredible Hulk, but we'll do this too. But it's you jump around, Phil. Come on.
Yeah. I know. But yeah, I mean, I think the stones are corrupted, especially since secret the universe has been changed and the stones have been changed.
Yeah, and not for nothing, like heroic Loki says, I don't think this universe is long, which is interesting to me. What I loved about that is because it made me think of my favorite what if that I imagined that has never been written, which is what if Loki had been Don Blake.
Oh, we can't. Oh, you're talking about we get the alternate Loki as the hammer.
We get the heroic Loki.
Yeah.
Because I was actually thinking, wouldn't that? Because this is this idea, Loki's this big screw up too. Thor's a big screw up, but so is Loki. And what if Odin punished Loki by making him Don Blake?
It's just funny because he's like in this universe, Loki is the unworthy trickster. So I'm guessing Thor's the trickster in that universe.
Yeah, something. Well, he also references Sif the Grim.
Sif the Grim, yes.
Yes. Well, it's obviously that mirror universe where the bad guys are the good guys and the good guys are the bad guys.
But still, I mean, you can still tell he's a Loki because he has his Infinity Stones just like attached to his chest.
Well, you need those things. You're going to go battling, Soul Eaters and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Got to plan ahead, Phil.
For Odin and beloved Asgard.
Yes. Oh, yeah, but it was a good story. And, not for nothing, as Loki says, clearly that was not a superior Loki. Because he wants to go and find out who's messing with his life. Who do you think it is? Is it Franklin? Is it Valeria? Is it Reed? Or is it Stan Lee? Ha ha! Excelsior!
Is it someone with a stone?
No, it's someone that is from the original reality they mentioned. The Prime reality.
Which
I guess.
Is this the Prime? I was going to say, is this the Prime reality? Or I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. Like I said, I don't know if they're going to get that metafictional with it. Last time we went to heaven, we had Jack Kirby be God.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably somebody that wants to make Stan Lee God, Where they go there and it's actually Jim Shooter. What? No! Just a really tall man who says, I am your God now.
What did you think about that whole scene in Central Park when everyone with an Infinity Stone shows up?
Yeah, I don't know why someone doesn't just smack Kirk on the head and take his stone. He's got really B-list supervillains backing him up.
Yeah, but he's got the Mind Stone too. You better hope you hit him.
And Captain Marvel has the Reality Stone.
I know.
It's like, really, what are you going to do, Turk?
Well, Black Widow played it smart. I mean, she was like sitting how far away with a sniper rifle.
Yeah, and honestly, if I was Doctor Strange in that moment, I would have said, Black Widow, as soon as Turk shows up, just take
pop him in the head. Yeah,
pop him in the head. It's not a healing stone. It's like, okay, well, that was solved. Problem solved. Thank you. Or just let Black Widow do what she feels is best. Say, Black Widow, what do you think would be the best way to handle Turk with the Mind Stone? Mm-hmm. We do get a lot about how the stones are interconnected in this, and maybe even somewhat of the corruption. I've always said the stones, and I feel this about the cinematic universe expressly. I think it influences out throughout what we see now, is that the stones are actually the ones. It's not that it's not that Thanos chose the stones. It's that the stones chose Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do feel the stones can shut themselves down when they don't want to play. Because we saw both the orb do this, the power stone. We saw the orb do this, and we saw the Tesseract do this.
Mm-hmm.
Both stones, after they got abused, they said, you know what, I'm not playing with you people. And I do feel that's what happened to that world, was that basically the Power Stone was being used to create a world without want. Basically doing what everyone says, well, why didn't Thanos just double the amount of good stuff in the universe? Then you don't have to worry. But I feel like what it was is that the stone just decided that all these people became so reliant on it that the stone one day just shut itself down and says, I'm not providing for you anymore. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Because you remember when you go to that world, you see that it used to be this paradise, just sort of like how Thanos describes Titan used to be, and then when you get to the final version, which had the Infinity Stone in it, it is like we see Titan is now. The gravity's off kilter. I don't know how gravity gets off kilter on your planet from something, but yeah, apparently. I guess you can argue you mined out all the resources, so now there's that hollowness inside the Earth, so like the gravity is...
Or the power just knocks it off its axis or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But you see that very clear parallel between the planet on which the orb was found and the planet that Titan became.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that's intentional when you talk about that MCU thing. So I think that basically this planet had the orb. They were using the orb to make their planet a planet of plenty. And then one day the orb went away. And then it all just fell apart. That is the question. Anyway, hey, you want to talk about Hulk?
Sure, Immortal Hulk. What is it, number 4? Yep.
Immortal Hulk number 4. I really liked this one. Aside from the fact that I was wondering if Noah Swanson was another 70s Hulk reference. I don't know, for some reason it's just like, wait, who is Noah Swanson? That sounds so familiar to me. But I could be wrong. But what I will say about this is I love Jackie fighting with her editor, Murray, about, and of course her editor's name, Murray, about her expense account, just like Jack McGee used to. Yay! And the thing I wanted to bring up in this was this idea about, I was going to link to Prototype when we were talking about him, was the idea that, Sasquatch used to be just the big dumb jock.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a dumb jock. He was actually a brilliant jock. He was sort of in his own way like Ben Grimm, Everyone thinks Ben Grimm's dumb. That's because he's always standing next to Reed Richards.
Oh.
And that, like Ben Grimm's like, no, actually I have a master's in, aeronautical and astronomical engineering,
Mm-hmm.
I actually, I fly spaceships for a living with one less finger than everybody else has. So, trust me, I know what I'm doing. But I liked the fact that, that Banner got really jealous when, Walter sort of got interested in science.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, it freaked Banner out because, all he had was his intellect. And here was a guy who was possibly just as smart as him, but also big and strong. And it scared Banner and made him fly into a rage. Now, the other thing that I wonder is, do you think that the gamma radiation from both of these guys is what caused the anger in the bar?
Maybe. Yeah, it just seems like that rage came out of nowhere. Maybe.
Well, exactly. It came out of nowhere where it came out of Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
And as we see, as they said, that when they did the gamma bomb testing in Antarctica, or in the Arctic Circle, it opened the gateway. And
yes.
That's how the elder Sasquatch god got out and all this kind of stuff. And it's still in there. And we do see that we now have an immortal Sasquatch.
I mean, and then that ending, it's just, I was like, so what are they trying to say here? Are they trying to say, when these guys first get bombarded with the gamma radiation, they can kind of control their other halves, but once you die at least that first time, then the halves come back a little more darker.
Yes. What I think it is that the gamma radiation is tied to this magical force realm of anger.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, that rage dimension, if you will.
Well, and plus,
it's like a speed force, but it's a rage force.
Well, plus, Banner gets killed and keeps coming back. Maybe you get killed and your body keeps coming back, but maybe your soul never comes back.
No, I mean that's a possibility, but I actually think it's more just, I think there's an interesting,
Charlie's like, science, damn it.
No. It's actually referenced. There's an old horror film. I want to think it's called Psychomania or Cyclemania. Mm-hmm. And it's about this guy who comes to this realization that if you basically commit suicide with no fear, you come back. And then you have no fear of death after that because you can just come back whenever you want to. Mm-hmm. And that when you remove the fear of death, when you remove mortality, that humanity often turns to darkness. That people might turn to darkness if they didn't have fear of death. And so there is this aspect of it that it's not so much that the gamma radiation is making you evil. It's that losing the fear of death drives you a little bit mad, or makes you no longer worried about the consequences of your action, makes you into a sociopath.
Oh.
Yes. That's a theory. And of course, in Cyclemania, like I said, it was about bikers. They were British. But, they were already sociopaths by the time they crossed that line. So, And not for nothing, Bruce Banner, probably already a sociopath by the time he crossed that line. Man builds gamma bombs.
Well, there's all of that childhood trauma of his watching his father kill his mother, too.
Yeah.
Because I think they said, no, that's kind of the theory is like, he already had these multiple personalities and yada yada. It's not so much the gamma radiation created the Hulk, but so much as gave it a physical form.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think that's what we see with what we're seeing in Bruce Banner now, is that sort of the Hulk. And there's an interesting point in that. You might have missed it, but the Hulk Banner has much more control of the Hulk than he lets on. Because remember, he says, because now it's dusk, or now it's sundown.
It's his time.
It's his time. But he's still Banner when he says that.
No. Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we see Walter turn into Sasquatch, but it's now Evil Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because when Peter David wrote the Hulk, like they switched right at sundown. Like the Hulk didn't let Banner have a second. So I'm wondering, does Banner have more control over the Hulk, or does the Hulk have more control over Banner?
No, there is no Hulk or Banner. There's only Zool. There's only one person.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying is Hulk is like, say, the dark half. Is the dark half have greater control now over the whole thing?
Well, yeah. Well, Banner has always been the Hulk.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, is like, there's a great what if about, like, what if, I forget what it was called, but basically, what if Banner was the Hulk persona all the time, and then he would actually become like the nice guy after the gamma bomb? And it was basically just the fact that Banner was always this abusive monster, but that and there is an aspect of that idea that the Hulk actually had kept Banner in check for years, and I think maybe even with the loss of intellect that we see with Banner now, it's more just his own excuse to say, I want to fade away. I want to just be the Hulk. But I don't feel more. He kind of has. It's a similar problem that I always feel that Ben Grimm has, which is that Ben Grimm doesn't want to be the Thing, but he doesn't want to stop being the Thing either.
Yeah.
And for Ben Grimm, it is easy enough for him to walk away from being the Thing sometimes. I mean, he always wants to be the Thing, but when he becomes a Ben Grimm again, he enjoys it to some extent. I think Banner hates being Banner because all he wants is that power, because he is a sociopathic monster.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's like it's like the Maestro. Is he getting to the point? Is he gonna get to the point when there was just like, you know what? Why do I need to be Banner? I mean, the Hulk's getting more intellect, so I don't have to worry about getting dumb like back in the day. 2, the Hulk's body's gonna take, weather the effects of old age better than Banner's body's going to.
And which persona became Maestro?
Was it Professor Hulk?
It was Professor Hulk. It was Professor Hulk was Maestro. That basically left to his own devices, he would rather be Professor Hulk. And you'll remember that the thing about Professor Hulk was that he embraced his sociopathology. Because that's why he forgave Abomination for killing Betty. Because he didn't have any connection to her. Because he didn't have any connection to anyone. Because you can be a sociopath and still be a good guy.
Oh, yeah, you can fake it.
Exactly. Well, I've often said that the key of sociopathology is persons who learn social cues without empathy.
Yeah.
So you know what you're supposed to do. You know how people be. You're like Dr. Doom. You know how you're supposed to behave. You know what the markings of a noble person are.
You go through the motions.
Yeah, you go through the motions. You go through everything you're supposed to do to be a hero.
It's like being an actor. Yeah.
Exactly. Or good old Otto. He's a superior Spider-Man because these are the things I do to be a hero. Let me go be a hero, and then people get upset because you're not doing it for the right reason.
I can't wait for Doc October.
I am so looking for the Superior Octopus ongoing series.
Is there going to be a Superior Octopus?
Yes, there's going to be. Well, there already is a Superior Octopus, and they're going to do a series for him.
Why, yes, young man, there will be a Superior Octopus book coming soon.
Yes, well, Otto got a cloned body that was based off of Peter Parker's body, but it also had a appropriate amount of Octavius DNA.
Are you talking about
Sounded naughty.
Scarlet Spider?
No, well, it was in the same arc with Scarlet Spider. You had, because basically, when Ben Reilly came back as the new, what is it? The new Jackal. The new Jackal. Several times, yes. But you can't keep a good octopus down. That's the moral of the story. Octopi are smarter than spiders.
Well, that was the other interesting thing. Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider 22 is out this week, and Ben and Kane supposedly. I mean, the guy said his name is Gabriel, and he's supposedly an angel. But I mean,
shit.
I know, but because he's like, well, you all know about Mephisto and stuff. What, you can't believe that there's people on the other side. But like, at first I saw him and I was like, wait a minute, is that what's his Glorian from Peter David's Hulk run?
Oh, it could be,
because that was Vegas too.
Yeah. But would Glorian appear as Gabriel? I don't know.
Well, I mean, maybe after that whole Hulk thing, he's like, well, no one's going to trust it, No one's going to.
Who was the lady who killed everybody to make them happy? Who was that lady? That was also.
Oh, was it Mercy or something?
Mercy, I liked Mercy.
I know. I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if she shows up eventually.
Yeah, well, Peter David had a good run in Vegas, and
Well, basically, Ben's still looking for a cure for that young girl who's dying, and Gabriel says, "Here, take a vial of my blood. This will cure her instantly."
There you go.
So we'll see what happens, but
you know what that actually sounds like? The plot to Runaways.
Oh,
that's actually a big plot line in Runaways. So that could be the what was it? The Master. His name is the I want to say he's the Master of something. The old Alpha Flight villain.
I was gonna say, Master of the World or whatever.
Master of the World. I think that might be Master of the World. That was his shtick. Or maybe it's good old Samuel Stearns.
So I was saying, I haven't watched the show yet, but if they're going to replay it on Freeform, I will. I did read that first series of Runaways. Yeah.
Well, what I'll tell you, they don't call him out as the Master of the World. There are things about him that make you think, if you're familiar with who the Master of the World is, it makes you think that's who it might be.
Mm-hmm.
But they never call it out, and it is a mystery. It is very interesting how they play it out. So, highly recommended. It's good. I enjoyed it. It ends on kind of a weird note because it was supposed to be the second season and they never did. So I think maybe they're moving it to Freeform is to sort of give it that opportunity to get that following, to get that second season.
I mean, unless they're still going to put them on Hulu first, and then putting season 1 on Freeform is kind of like their ad, like, hey, you want to go see season 2? Go check it out on Hulu.
Disney now owns Hulu, so yeah.
I mean, especially putting it right, the first episode right after the season finale of Cloak and Dagger. It's like, hey kids, you like Cloak and Dagger? You might like this show.
Yes. You know what I'll say about Hulu is Hulu has some great original programming, but they have no idea how to get you to watch it. It's like Hulu has recommended 2 or 3 shows to me that I fell in love with after I started watching them, but I didn't watch them for months and months and months. It's like, no, really, we think you're gonna like this. We think you're gonna like it.
You think it's just a lot of content, because there's so much content out there now?
Well, I think maybe Hulu just doesn't have the trust that Netflix has built up over the years.
Yeah, no, I don't think, no.
And Netflix has a lot more tied-in genre stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Netflix is going to milk these Marvel stuff to death. I do not think you're ever going to have a season without a Daredevil or Luke Cage or Jessica Jones or another spin-off. I think Netflix says, no, we got this. We're tied to you guys. We ain't letting go. Because I think that is one of the things that is keeping Netflix around, quite frankly. Oh, yeah. But I really liked the Hulk this week. It was really good. I did read Super Sons.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Isn't gold kryptonite supposed to take away your powers forever, though?
I know back in the day, but every time they switch continuities, I'm like, I don't know. Who said? I don't know if that's real gold kryptonite. Who knows? And
as another thing, are these guys from the Mojoverse?
I don't know. I don't know if it's
because they remind me of the X-Babies. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know those villains. Yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to be they're from a planet. Like Bizarro's from Bizarro World or whatever. Yeah, they haven't explained that yet, but.
Well, I thought maybe they're supposed to. What was that Earth? What was the Earth that was the Mirror Earth? With Owlman and Ultraman and
was that
Amazon?
Earth 3 or whatever?
Yeah, Earth something or other. Yeah. Well, they supposed to be from that Earth, and maybe they're pan-dimensional. At first, when they first, I thought it was going to be Dr. Sylvania. Hey, Shazam is coming. Got to play it.
Oh, that's true.
I'm a little disappointed that Black Adam's the villain, not Dr. Sylvania.
What, in the first one?
Yeah, in the first Shazam film. You're going to go right to Black Adam?
I didn't think. Did they announce that? I don't think I heard that. I don't know who the villain's, but
I thought The Rock is The Rock. Everything I've heard says The Rock is in it.
Back at months and months ago, I thought they were talking about giving him his Black Adam his own solo movie, then maybe putting him in 2. I don't know. Let's ask Lilith in a couple minutes on Capes and Lunatics.
Yes, we can certainly do that. Yeah, I like Dr. Sylvania. Sure, he is literally a Lex Luthor ripoff.
I love his appliances.
Although, to be fair, he actually isn't a Lex Luthor ripoff because I think that the original Lex Luthor, was the red-haired Lex Luthor, and I don't think bald Lex Luthor came before Sylvania. I'm not sure of that. I think Dr. Sylvania was just a typical bald evil genius character. We'll have to ask Lilith if bald Lex Luthor came before Dr. Sylvania, or if Dr. Sylvania came before bald Lex Luthor.
Ooh, yes.
Who was originally actually supposed to be an extra-dimensional being, the original red-headed Lex Luthor. As I recall, I haven't read Superman number 2 in a while, so that was number 2, wasn't it? Superman number 2.
I don't know.
I know he had a blimp.
Oh,
a blimp and red hair. Have a blimp and red hair. How can you not be a supervillain? Anyway, anything else? Let's see what. But Super Sons, that was cool.
Yeah.
I don't like that it takes place in between books.
Yeah.
The story takes place after that book, but before the new book, that kind of ruins the Super Sons continuity.
Well, you know why?
Bendis. This isn't a Bendis book, though, right?
No, but I'm saying I think they kind of ended everything super previously to Bendis, so Bendis could take control. Although they are bringing the Supergirl ongoing title back, so.
Okay, well, so good for that, I suppose. Honestly, I think they're going to bring all of them back. I was even seeing stuff with New Superman recently.
I think.
I think they overbought on Bendis, and now they're like,
Yeah, they're course correcting because Lilith said she has inside info that his numbers aren't as good as they thought they were going to be. So.
Of course they're not.
I know. We told them this from the minute they announced it. We told them this. I know.
Yeah, they need to subscribe. They need to click the subscribe button.
That's right. Subscribe
DC.
on YouTube. Subscribe on the podcast, DC.
You guys need to do this stuff because we'll tell you what to do.
We'll steer the ship for you. We'll steer the ship for you.
We're not saying we want credits, man.
You take the credit, DC. We'll take the cash. Come on. Ding, ding.
I just want to see good stories be made. I don't care about the credit. I don't care about the cash.
Hey.
I like it.
They could give us some cheddar. Come on.
They can give us some cheddar, but you know what?
Give us some cheddar.
They can give us some Cheez-Its. That's fine, too. I don't need the actual cheddar.
Just a little cheese, DC. That's right. Good stories and just a tiny bit of cheddar. All right. Are we done?
Yeah, well, as done as we're going to be, Phil. I mean, we're done, and then we're going to do it all again in 7 minutes. So
that's right.
No rest for the weary, no rest for the wicked. That's why I'm so saintly. Philip, how can people find you if they'd like to talk to you about all the wonderful things that you do when you connect things outside of Superconnectivity?
And if you if you want to discuss any of this nonsense with me, or if you're a comic creator and you want to do an interview because Superconnectivity episode 200 is coming in a few weeks, email me, nightwingpvp@gmail.com, and on Twitter, I am @nightwingpvp.
And if you're a creator and you want a brilliant idea, we'll give them to you offline so you can claim them all as your own. My promise to you. And, of course, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way the way our moms and pods once did, write to us. Write to me, specifically, but all of us together, because we all like the email, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one very long word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on Twitter, as I like to tweet things, like Cloak and Dagger, except I forgot to recently, or that new freeform show of The Runaways, which I hear is good. Runaways, run away. At Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle for quality. And hey, give me a call at 614-382-2737 at 614-38-KAPE.
Oh, nice. Yes, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for connecting with me and Phil once again in the glorious world that is Superconnectivity. Make sure next week you're right back here to Super Connect with us once again. Good night. And
come back next week so you know what we're definitely probably going to be talking about, right? Fantastic Four #1.
Oh yeah, that book. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm sure it'll come up. Yes.
That's an $8 book, right?
I don't think it was that much. It might have been, 6?
Good
maybe?
thing I got that job.
I think it's like 5 or 6. Yeah, I don't think they went 8.
Yeah, okay.
Go 6. Don't go 8, Marvel.